Oh, hey kids, it's Mr. Coster here. I was in the middle of a game of Hungry Hippos, but let's talk about 11.2 instead, and the nullification crisis that's going to come about in this section under Andrew Jackson's time in office. Well, first thing I want to talk about is about tariffs. What is a tariff? A tariff is a tax on goods coming into the country. Anytime we buy things from a foreign nation and bring it into the country, we place a tax on it. And that is called a tariff. Well, there's three main reasons why we were going to place a tax on goods coming into the country. The first is to raise money. We need money to operate the country, so the first purpose of the tariff is simply to raise money. Secondly, we want to limit the importing of foreign goods. We want to encourage people to buy American, buy goods from other people in the country. It's going to help our economy be so much stronger if we could buy American goods. And thirdly, we want to protect American businesses from foreign competition. The tariff will cause more Americans to buy American because the cost of foreign goods now is going to go up. So this tariff is placed. Three reasons: raise money, limit the importing of foreign goods, and then thirdly, protect American businesses from foreign competition. This tariff is going to really strengthen industry in America. Where are most industries located? In the north, of course, because the south is primarily agricultural. So the north's really going to benefit from this. So this really going to help them out. So the north's going to love it. South is not so sure. So this whole tariff thing ignites a debate. Two main issues are going to be debated and keep coming up through this whole section and really for the next 40 years in America. And that is the issue of states' rights versus national rights and the issue of nullification. A states' rightser, somebody who believed in states' rights, would say that a state had more authority over their state than the national government. You get that right? The states have more authority than the national government. And then secondly is this idea of nullification. Nullification is the belief that a state can declare a federal law harmful and thus unconstitutional and can choose to not enforce it or follow it. So nullification would allow a state to pick and choose which laws to follow. Is nullification constitutional? Is nullification okay? No, it's not. But a lot of the states' rightsers believed that they should have the right to nullify a national law. And these folks are primarily located in the South, where the tariff is not protecting them. So it causes this whole nullification controversy, and it starts with a tariff. There's a series of 3 tariffs that get passed in America. The 3 tariffs begin, the first one in 1816, the next one 1824, and the last one 1828. And each tariff increased the amount of tax on imported goods, up to the 1828 rate of nearly 60%. It's a huge percentage. Let's talk about how this whole tariff thing worked. So, let's take a look here. If America made this clothing, this cloth, for $4 a roll, cost you $4. All right. Well, in Britain, a roll of cloth costs $4 a roll. A 25% tariff would add $1 to the price of that cloth coming to America. Well, Britain then, that cloth would then sell in America for $5, going from $4 to $5. You get the idea. So now you add a 60% tariff. This $4 is now about $6.50 in America, which is going to force people to buy American. Well, that's great. Let me tell you what's been going on. Let's say, for example, what if this British cloth had been costing $3? Well, if you're living in the South, you're probably going to buy that $3 cloth instead of $4 up north from an American manufacturer. However, now that 60% tax being placed on it, now it's going to cost you almost $5 instead of the the $3 that you were paying. That's going to benefit the North, because now the South is in a tough spot, because no matter what, the South has to pay more than they were paying before. They're going to become bitter. The North's going to become really happy because they're making a lot of money. And the South has even greater financial problems because they couldn't manufacture a thing. All they're doing was cotton. One, because we're buying less from Britain now, Britain is buying less from us. They're buying less cotton from us. That's going to hurt the southern farmer. It reduces their trade as foreign countries are buying less cotton, and because of that, the price is going up. We've got to make up the difference. There's a greater need for slaves because of this, to produce more cotton. So it creates a real rift in between in between the North and the South that's going to last for a long time. And this ignites this controversy. Did a state have the right then to nullify these tariffs? The tariff of 1828, they're actually going to call the tariff of abominations. They hate this tariff of 1828 so much. They call it the tariff of abominations. And so things kind of keep going from bad to worse as there's a lot of conflict over this issue. And at the forefront of this conflict are two men, John C. Calhoun, who is Andrew Jackson's vice president, and of course President Jackson. Well, Calhoun is from South Carolina, and he is pushing for nullification, hates the tariff of abominations, and Jackson is saying, hold on, you can't nullify a law. You can't get rid of a law. Well, Calhoun is working at getting other southern states to join him. You can see here these pink states are the states that were kind of in agreement with him. Green ones, other way around. And so this conflict keeps getting worse and worse between Calhoun and Jackson, to the point of Calhoun even resigning the vice presidency, becoming a senator, because he feels like he could do more to help this cause in the Senate. We're not done yet. Now, John C. Calhoun says, I want to leave the Union. I want South Carolina here to break free and become their own state. Become their own nation, actually, right? He wants them to leave and get out of the United States of America. Well, how do you even do that? But that idea is called seceding or secession. Now, he tries to get these other states to join him, and they all kind of say, whoa, John C. Calhoun, that's a little too crazy. But there's a lot of enthusiasm against what he's trying to do here. So there is a real push, and it causes a lot of controversy between these two men. So Jackson actually is going to be given the authority by the Congress to send a military ship down to South Carolina to force Jackson to pay the tariff. We're about to go to war with South Carolina. Who can come and solve the issue? Who can come and save the day? Only one man that I know of that can save the day. And that, of course, is my friend and yours, Henry Clay. Who better than Henry Clay to come together and help solve this controversy? But he's going to do exactly that. This is going to be known as the Compromise of 1833. You see it up here in this graph right here, the Compromise of 1833, and here's what it's going to say. It says, hey, let's reduce the tariffs. Right now in 32, we're at 50%. A year from now, make it 47%. A year later, 44%, and so forth, till it got down to 20%, which is the way it was in 1816. John C. Calhoun didn't want to go to war, but Jackson knew he can't let this guy ignore a national law. We've got to enforce these laws. So this was a great compromise made by, again, Henry Clay to the rescue, and war is averted temporarily in America, which is pretty terrific. So I'm thankful for the efforts of people like Henry Clay to help save the Union and save the nation once again. But this nullification issue, this secession issue and states' rights is going to continue to be an issue in America until civil war happens in about 30 years.